Welcome back, everybody, to Man Bites Film. My name is Brandon Lacau, and I have a special guest here today.
It's me, Brandon. I'm back from the dead.
Yes, he is,
What's
our
up,
monthly
guys?
guest. Alright, today we're going to be reviewing The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, directed by Brandon, what's his name?
Give me a second, sorry. His name is Kim Ji-woon. Sorry if I butchered that name. I probably did.
I would
It
have
has a
butchered it worse.
7.3 on IMDb. Yeah. Half the names in the movie, I was like, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
It has a 7.3 on IMDb, and it has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good. Pretty decent
Yeah.
film.
What would you rate this film?
What would I rate it?
Yeah.
A 7.
Really? I gave this a 9.5
Yeah.
out of 10.
God damn.
Yeah.
Why so high?
I honestly, well, let's go into the story first. Let's break down the story a little
Okay.
bit for people that have not seen this. This is a classic Western story, very reminiscent of Seven Samurai. It's basically a poor guy finds something that's gonna make him rich. They go out, try to get this object that's gonna make them rich. Usually in the Westerns, it's gold, stuff like that. This is pretty much the same concept, just in China. And the film is in Mandarin.
Korea.
No, it's in China. It's actually,
Is it?
it takes place in China, yeah. It's a Korean
Oh, yeah,
director.
yeah. Sorry.
But yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, they go a little bit into
Yeah.
Korea for a little bit of time, but it's not a long period of time, and it basically revolves around this poor person. They find a way to become rich, and then they have these other gangsters and the army, and all these guys end up chasing it. It becomes this huge Western shootout, very reminiscent of the Sergio Leone films and all that. Like it's very
It's a
reminiscent
fuck
of
fest.
that. Yeah,
It's a straight fuck fest at moments.
yeah. It has perfect pacing for
But it's
a
good.
Western, and a little bit at
What was that?
a little bit at the beginning. The what do you call it? The cinematography and everything is kind of, it threw me off a little bit because of the color schemes. Usually for Westerns and all that stuff, I'm kind of used to the dull out colors, and it's not as colorful. This film is very, very colorful, and it's shot with a very good eye, because the purpose of it really goes into the actual cinematography of, it goes into the filmmaking qualities, like the blues, the yellows, the reds, and it's really cool and very interesting how they use this. For a first-time cinematographer, he did a phenomenal job with this. He does some cool vertical shots. What did you want to add to the story, Brandon?
That's what I felt was like the kind of the part that was most lacking about the film. Like the characters, which we will get into in a second, were, I think, the most interesting part of the film. I just felt like the story was lacking. It was just your stereotypical, like, let's go find a treasure.
Yeah.
There wasn't much plot, you know.
Well, it's a Western.
I don't know. That's just
I
me.
mean, Westerns really don't have a
True.
plot. They just action packed, and there's a lot of action in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in this movie.
That scene, I think my favorite scene that I have seen for an action shot and everything is that scene where he's swinging around with the shotgun. I was like, holy shit, that totally, like, if I wasn't completely absorbed in the film, up to that point in the film, that's where I became totally absorbed into this world. That just hooked me real good.
I was completely, like, lost at one point. I was like, is this a fictional world, or are they in, like, real, like...
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? But no, they are in actual... It's 1930. They're in China.
Yeah.
And
Northern
part of it
China.
takes place in Korea. But, alright, so let's get to the characters. So we have the three main characters, which are the good, the bad, and the weird.
Yeah.
Which is They're played by Lee Byung-hun. That's basically the... I'm going to call him the emo dude.
Yeah.
Then we have the Good, which is played by Jung Woo-sung, which is... I'm going to call him Clint Eastwood. Yeah. And then we have the Weird, which is played by Song Kang-ho, who I'm just going to call him... I don't know what to call him.
Mifune.
Give me a clever name.
Toshiro Mifune.
What?
Toshiro Mifune from Seven Samurai. That's what he reminds me of. I loved...
They were great.
The Good.
They did incredible jobs, favorite. All three of them.
The Good was the best
one?
part. He was my favorite one. The Clint Eastwood character. He was phenomenal. I loved his presence was great. He was like constantly like making the action move. His character was the most defined, I think, out of all of them. The Weird, he was okay. The emo one, I could not stand. That guy, I just didn't like him from the beginning. Didn't get along. His character didn't click with me at all.
He has I don't know. It's so, I know it's Asian.
Yeah.
And like Asian movies tend to be over the top and all this stuff, but it was just like...
Really? You thought it was over the top?
His haircut, like... What?
You thought it was over the top?
A little bit. A little bit.
Perfect.
Maybe
I didn't think it was over the top on that.
Maybe it's because it's a mixture of Asian film and westerns, but yeah, I felt like the movie was like not in a bad way over the top, but like it was like sometimes they would do things where I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the swinging around and stuff, like it's just like nah, like I don't know.
Oh, I love that. That was great. That was freaking cool. That whole sequence.
It's
awesome. I loved
fucking
it.
Cool. It's really cool, but like I don't know. It's just like a little bit unbelievable at like non-believable, I guess, at moments. I do agree with you. I think the Good was the best character in the film.
Yeah.
He had this presence when he would show up.
Yeah. He had the Clint Eastwood presence.
Like,
yeah. He had the Clint Eastwood presence.
Exactly.
And which was very interesting that most Westerns don't have is the supporting characters were actually really, really good. They had a presence of their own. They made their stamp on the film, which is very interesting because that's one thing that this took away from the Westerns. It actually established a backstory to each character pretty well. Westerns really don't do that. So
quick question before we go into the next category, which is similar films. Who the fuck were those random ass dudes? The guy with like the pipe in his mouth.
Yeah, I have no clue either. That was really random. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
I was like, who the fuck are these people, man?
And that Mad Max sequence. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's so... Those were the characters where I was like, is this a fictional world? Because they're so over the top that...
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get what's going on here. Who are these people?
Yeah, you were talking about the brothel, right? The brothel in the middle of the desert.
No, I'm talking about the guys that are like they're searching for the Weird, like the one that has like the really like weird underbite, and the other guy that's always smoking a big fat like pipe.
Yeah. My bad.
The big fat guy that he gets blown up by a mortar.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Which is fantastic, by the way. This film has no...
Yeah.
You have no association with any of the characters. Don't like any of the characters, because it's like Throne of Bloods. They will actually, like... You know, Game of Thrones, they kill off all the characters. This is pretty similar to that. Don't get a liking to a character, because they'll kill them off.
Yeah.
There's some Mad Max in this. I like that. I compare it a lot to Seven Samurai. A lot. Because of the guy he ends up being a badass, and he's not supposed to be a badass in your eyes, and you just think he's a dumbass, but in reality he was the hidden gem, you know.
If you had to choose like one film, which one would it be that you would like compare this movie to?
Probably Seven Samurai. That's the closest, because the pacing, the style, the character analysis, all that stuff is pretty similar, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The more and more I kept watching the movie, the more and more, I don't know why, I kept thinking of Kill Bill.
Really? I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I think it was more than
Like,
anything the cinematography. The cinematography was very much to Kill Bill.
yeah, the cinematography and the over-the-top like action sequence. Not Kill Bill Volume 2. I'm talking about
the first
one,
yeah.
Kill Bill Volume 1, which has like the, you know, the scene where she fights the crazy 88,
Yeah.
and all that bullshit. And I don't know, I just kept coming up in my mind.
I could see that a
I
lot, actually. I think actually it follows the same plot points as Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah.
I think it has pretty much the same pacing and the same, the structure to the film is pretty much the same. That's very true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kept coming up. All right, so do you want to get into spoilers now?
I really don't think there's many spoilers. There's a big one at the end, but honestly, there's nothing really to talk about in it. If you've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it's pretty similar. I mean, it's literally just a Korean version of that film. So if you've seen that, that's pretty much the biggest spoiler you could actually give, I think. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, there's not really much to spoil. The one thing other than the two guys or the group, sorry, that I was completely lost about. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. What the fuck was that part at the end where like he has this revelation that he's the one that he cut his finger off?
That was really weirdly put together. I agree with you on that, and that's actually the reason why I gave the 0.5 off, was because of that story arc. It never really wrapped up cleanly, and it was kind of oddly put together. And I think it goes back to just the lost in translation thing. It's the Korean style of storytelling, you know? It's not...
I don't know, like, they mention it, he talks about it once. The Good talks about the finger cutter or whatever it's called. I forgot what the hell it's called.
You could tell that it was cut from the film,
my God.
that whole story arc.
Yeah, and then Revelation, the weird is the one that cut off the bad's finger. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I was just lost in that sequence. I don't know.
It's like,
that was the weirdest
fucking why didn't they bring it up again? Why didn't they bring it up during the film? It's like, okay, you know, come on. Give me something, you know? Give me something. Yeah, that was kind of weird. That was very odd, actually.
Other than that, before we get into the wrap-up, there's not many spoilers. It's an action-packed film where they're just trying to find a treasure. There's not really much to spoil.
Yeah.
There's cool action sequences. My favorite is the Mad Max sequence at the end.
That's so
that
cool.
is
that was so cool.
The climax of the film, I guess.
Yeah, it was like a mix of Indiana Jones and Mad Max style. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool. Yeah.
And the duel between them three is pretty cool also.
Yeah. And that goes again back to the Clint Eastwood films.
Yeah, so wrap up. So you said you gave this film a 9.5.
9.5 out of 10, yeah. Clean 9.5
9.5. Damn, it has the seal of approval by Lewis.
Yeah, this film, when I saw this, I was like, this is really freaking good. I watched it and I was like, the first thing I wrote down was, okay, cheesy effects, cheesy CGI, beautiful cinematography, odd colors for Western, and then 5 minutes into the film, I got hooked. In that scene with the train and everything, I got hooked with that.
Yeah.
That grabbed my attention and just, like, it gets you real quick. And, you know, usually the foreign films and stuff like that, they're hard to catch your attention. They're not action-packed like this. I really loved it. I really, really loved it. This is actually streaming on Netflix, so it's easy access. It's also on Hulu as well. I don't know if it's on Amazon, actually. That I didn't check.
It's not.
Yeah. So Hulu and Netflix.
I guess I would give it like a 7.5. It's a fun movie. 7.5 is not a bad score. It's a good movie. It's fun. If you want action, very little plot, watch it. I think that's the reason that I gave it a 7, because there's not much going on in the plot department.
Yeah.
It's just a straight 2 hours of almost just nonstop, like, let's shoot each other up.
It's a little bit over 2 hours, right? It's like 2.5 hours almost.
It was like it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, some shit like
really? I thought it was a little bit over that.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, have you seen Election?
No.
Why not?
Okay, so
I talked about this last week
case.
that you were gonna watch it.
Okay, so I had a misunderstanding with Lewis earlier this week. He told me, "Hey, check out the election episode." So I was like, "All right, cool, I'll check it out." So I checked it out, and in my head, I thought, "Oh shit, he reviewed it by himself. Might as well. That I guess that means that I don't have to watch it, and I guess we're not going to talk about it because he already talked about it in one of his previous episodes." So I didn't watch it. And today, right before we recorded, he asked me if I had seen Election, and I told him no. And he gave me these eyes, death,
The
in
death
his
eyes. The death eyes.
And yeah, one day I'll watch Election. One day,
Uh-huh.
it'll
Hopefully before
happen
the next
eventually.
episode.
Okay, I promise you can like come over and kill me if I don't watch Election by the next episode. I probably said something similar last episode
Yeah, you did.
that I was on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I'm
so,
sorry.
do you have a film that
I'm
you
fuck
want
up.
me to watch for next?
Okay, yeah, I've been really wanting to watch this film. I haven't watched it myself. I know you have, but I wanted to watch Ex Machina, which
Okay.
For anyone that's watching is streaming right now on Amazon Prime. So check it out, or if you own it, you've probably seen it somewhere. It's a big ass movie. I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, next movie for when I'm on is Ex Machina.
All right.
And before Lewis takes us on out, remember, game side manners. If you like games and friends talking shit, we're your people. Game side manners. We're playing a horror game called Until Dawn now. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So this is our final review for The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. This is our special guest episode with Brandon. Of course, check out the sites that he told you about on YouTube. I'll set up the links as well in the description section. And we will see you guys next week. Now, from here on out, if you haven't seen already, Man Bites Film is going to be doing themed episodes. Basically, if I decide to do The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, I'm going to do either Westerns or Korean films alongside with the what do you call it, the like and dislike segment of the show. So please check us out next week, every Friday, like always. This is Man Bites Film. My name is Louis. This is Brandon, and we'll see you guys soon.